An ancient terror sleeps in the Vargas house. Can anyone survive its awakening? The evil.
We're not going to get out!
They can scream, they can run, but they can't escape. Richard Crenna, Joanna Pettit, Victor Bono, The Evil, rated R.
The Evil. And you know it's good because it's rated R.
Yeah, for evil.
Yes. The first movie to be rated E for evil. Brought to you by Hallmark Releasing. No, not
this,
really.
Yeah. How about this whole this Barn of the Naked Dead thing?
Yeah. It's a big idea to get used to.
He had a plan. I don't know what it was. Like what was the end game of this whole, like, no audience is going to be like, we paid good money to watch you paint a woman with blood and let a cheetah chase her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where was this show going to play? Vietnam? Like Thailand? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think
Germany.
of like Germany. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it.
Japan.
Sun
I
City.
think you said that one.
Videodrome.
That's where it belonged, on Videodrome.
Yeah. He's like, I have always wanted to try out for Videodrome. Also, like, each time he has to get blood into that mug, you got to clean the paintbrush. Unless he like is just buying a lot of paintbrushes. There's just a lot of stuff.
Plus, the blood would be coagulating, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't look like paint.
No.
It'd be all crusty and like bleh, and brown.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, he had some kind of system where you said it during the movie. How could 12 women not eventually overpower him? Like he has to go to sleep sometime.
Yeah, I mean, they were chained up, so there was that, but they were ingenious enough to get away a couple of times. A couple of them
Yeah.
almost got away. Like they had the keys. That was probably a test. The
Yeah.
keys thing. Like he was probably just waiting there to get rid of somebody. And he didn't even get rid of the woman that broke away. He just whipped her, and he took another one, the one that was just sitting there not doing anything.
Yeah.
He was nutty. This was a Jennifer in the first segment. She summed this up pretty nicely. She was like, "They're the victims in the movie. You just keep yelling at them to do something. Like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" And instead, they're just like,
I agree with Mike. Sums it up really well in the chat that this is disturbing because at no point are you let in on the joke, right? It's just like
Yeah.
it keeps going, and it's really rough. It's closer to Blood Sucking Freaks than it is to a Corman movie, so I can see why it played with it.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good observation, actually. I hadn't considered that when I saw that double feature that we looked at earlier. It was kind of weird. And
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
not like
they are thematically tied.
versus Bloodsucking Freaks. Yeah, there is some sexual interest in the women. He really doesn't have any interest in the women outside of objects to destroy and maybe a mother figure. You know?
Yeah, of course it turns into a Norman Bates thing. It's always got to be the Norman Bates thing.
Exactly. Isn't that why everybody goes wrong? It's all about the mom.
I heard some paranormal tapping a second ago.
Sorry about that. I was changing the color of my microphone.
Oh, what color do you like?
I had it purple, but I thought blue would contrast nicely with the purple light that I have here. So trying to.
I changed to red for the second
Oh,
segment,
nice.
but I turned on another blue light.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mario Bava decides these things. I don't.
Frank says exactly what I yelled during the movie. Like let's split the keys up amongst the people that are freed, and
Yeah.
and let them and let's all work together to get out. Instead, almost everybody dies. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it made no sense for them to just run off into nowhere because, like they said, you're in the middle of nowhere and you can't run away from a place like that. It's just too far
you
on
can't
foot.
run from a cougar or whatever they send after her.
That too.
You know, it's like it's gonna catch you even
Cheetah.
in the best of conditions if you have shoes on, if you have a long head start.
Plus, I wanted to know how the hell they got it back in that cage. Like,
If he's
presumably, this
that
was not the
good,
first time that he had done this. So the cat
yeah.
goes back there? I don't think so.
How did he? You know what? A lot of times, people, it's hard for people to really do anything, right? It's like you have dreams, and enacting these dreams take a lot, right, in life. But like his dreams are like, I want to have a circus filled with women going up against wild animals. What was the first step like in his plan? Do you know what I mean? Like there had to be a first day where he was like, I screwed up. What did I learn? How can I make this better? Like what are the things where I can get better at it?
Like you said, we're not let in on the, or like Mike said, we're not let in on the joke.
No, and never. I don't even think there is a joke. It's just, it's rough. I can see why
No.
Andrew Prime was like, maybe this one went too far. Like he doesn't even. He's just beating people with whips, and like he's constantly going to be getting new slaves in and slaves out.
Well, at some point it has to end.
Yeah.
Like that's what this chapter of his life, where we were witnessing the last chapter of his life, where it finally catches up to him and he can't get away with it anymore.
Yeah.
Karma catches up.
Why am I in a coal mine? I decided to do some fun lighting. That's what. Maybe if I bring this over, it'll look less like a coal mine. Or do I sound like I'm in a coal mine? That's the important question.
I think you sound like you're in a coal mine. There's a little bit of it. There's been a reverb on your voice for a while.
How's that? Is that better?
Oh yeah, that's no reverb.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I can't hear it. So. Much better.
I thought you were doing it on purpose.
Oh no! Oh
That's why I
no!
didn't say anything about it. I'm
Oh
like, oh, he
no!
was.
All right, then we can move this light over here. All right, much better.
It's doing wonders for your beard.
It is. It's Eddie Rabbit. Well, some folks liked it, some folks didn't. That's all right. That's why we watch movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it personally. I think it's got that cheesy 70s element that's
Yeah,
so nice to see in a movie.
it's got
Even
a
if the
beat and I can dance to it. I give it an 83.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy to please though. I have to admit. Like there's a couple things like you give me some old school 1970s furniture,
Yeah.
maybe a groove mag
Oh,
rug, a pendant
the
lamp, and I'm
the
good.
animal themed rooms in this, Bill. The
Yeah.
the bar, the hotel room, so
Yeah.
much was just perfect for you.
Yeah, that was the hanging lamp in the bar. I think someone at the beginning of the chat said they needed that. It was Dustin or Mike or somebody.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for coming back, guys. By the way, I see a lot of folks back in the chat. That's good. Nice to see. Remember to hit like and or share. If you're watching it on Facebook, hit the like button. If you're watching it on YouTube, like it and subscribe to the YouTube channel Groovy Doom, and you'll get notifications whenever we go live.
Yeah.
But the big time, we're on YouTube now.
Yeah. What's next? Twitch?
We went to the other place where you can post videos for free.
Yeah.
All right.
So the evil is next. Man, the evil.
Yes.
This movie's got a good cast. It's got Richard Crenna, pre-Rambo. He's Professor C.J. Arnold. And he has a plan. This plan seems maybe a little better. He's bought an abandoned Civil War mansion that's built over hot sulfur pits. Maybe look into the house, like get mine subsidence insurance. But he buys it and the house is totally haunted. So great place to put people that are
Mm-hmm.
drug addicts going cold turkey and sweating it out of their system, right?
In the most haunted place on
Yeah.
earth, sure.
He's married to another doctor, Dr. Carolyn Arnold, who is Joanne Pettit, who was on 4 episodes of Night Gallery, and also had lunch with Sharon Tate the afternoon of her death. But you know what? Didn't every starlet and star in Hollywood say, "Oh, I was just with Sharon Tate. I went to lunch with her 3 days before she died." Joanna was like, "I
Yeah.
did it."
I'm not saying that Joanna Pettit's story isn't true, but
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people said that too.
it feels kind of BSy, but you know what? That's okay. And she senses immediately something's wrong. So she goes to the basement and lets it out. Whatever evil is there. But you know, I I 100% believe, Bill, you taught me something really important. When somebody does something stupid in a movie, of course they have to, or we wouldn't have a movie. They
Yeah.
are the person that unleashes our enjoyment. So, but
Well, plus it
man,
gets a reaction out of the audience. You know that they shouldn't be doing that, and
yeah,
yet they're going to go do it. So it's like, suspense. But sometimes it's so dumb that the script has a hard time making you believe that that person would go do that thing.
yeah,
And I don't know. I think this movie's pretty good. This was sort of something I never paid any attention to for years. Even when it was on HBO, I read the
Mhm.
synopsis and I was like, I don't think so. I was
I
so
owned
hard
it
to
for a
please.
long time. I had a double feature of this and Twice Dead together, and I for the longest time just didn't watch it. And then I watched it and I was like, I really like it. It's a good little haunted house movie.
Yeah, I was so wrong. I
Yeah,
would have loved this as a kid. I don't know why I didn't watch it.
yeah.
I
The
honestly believe just a little bit of Krenna is enough to change you
oh,
forever.
and I saw in the chat a few folks brought up that this is shot in the Montezuma Castle in Las Vegas, New Mexico, Las Vegas, though not Nevada, Las Vegas. And it was a hellspawn retreat, but then became a Jesuit college, and then it fell into decay, just in time to make the evil there. And we got Cassie Yates in it too. She was in Rolling Thunder, and she was Sarah Curtis on Dynasty. So that's good. And the director of this movie is man, get ready for me to say his last name, Gus Triconis, who has had quite a career. Beyond being the first husband of Goldie Hawn, he made The Side Hackers, which if you've seen Mystery Science Theater, you've seen the Side Hackers, Moonshine County Express, She's Dressed to Kill, Not Dressed to Kill, and Take This Job.
Not Dressed to Kill.
Take This Job and Shove It, and Nashville Girl, which I 100% recommend. Nashville Girl.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get to that one.
If you like, someone, as Jen mentioned earlier, like, oh, this movie's a little scummy, watch Nashville Girl. It's boy howdy.
Yeah,
it's like the I have a weakness now. I realize after watching Norman Thaddeus Vane's Club Life this week, I like movies where kids go to Hollywood with dreams, and their dreams are crushed by how horrifying Hollywood is. Unlike Angel, that should happen to Angel, but Angel's so smart. She's like, I found a whole family on the streets. And by Angel 2, you're like, oh, she actually probably did better being Angel than she did staying in school.
That was the Angel's message.
Yeah.
Hooking isn't so bad for a kid who's in high school.
Yeah. But you have to find if you're going to hook on the mean streets of Los Angeles, you got to find the right surrogate family.
Sure.
You got to find a Susan
That was one of those movies like Times Square.
Yeah.
That taught you that running away from home and living on the streets can be a wonderful adventure, life transforming moment that changes you for the positive.
You're going to have success. You're going to be in the kind of band that can just come to a station and get right on the air. Like, and people are going to want to know you. It also helps if you're a white girl and your dad's a senator. Just saying. That helps. Because people will care and not shoot you when you're up on that building acting like a maniac in Times Square. Daryl asked, did Angel ever have any Johns? No, much like movies where strippers never get naked, we never actually see Angel hook up with anybody. But such is Angel.
We kind of do.
She goes to that place, the one place, and then they find the dead body.
But we weren't ever supposed to believe that she didn't hook, were we?
No, we're just not supposed to.
She was getting this money from somewhere.
Yeah. Man. I watched a crazy movie this week, Bill. New Religion. It's a Japanese movie. This ties into Angel, I swear. And into this, because it's a haunted movie.
We were talking about the evil.
Yeah, but this kind of does. This girl loses her daughter. Her daughter falls off the balcony, and 2 years later, her life's falling apart. She's become a working girl, and the girl that she shares a place with, the hook out of, ends up going crazy and with a knife and running through a crowd and killing people. So she gets all that girl's clients, and the one client who pays her the most money never sleeps with her, but only wants to take photos of her body part by body part. And with each photo, she can see the ghost of her daughter more and more. But what's crazy is this guy is a cancer survivor. He doesn't have a voice anymore, so he has his voice box hooked up to his house. So there's like a subwoofer in the house, and the whole house vibrates with his voice, and you never see him. And all the lighting in the house is bright red. Japan never change. Keep bringing crazy stuff. Anywho, the evil. Nightmarish. And it kind of gets in a little bit of, it's same year as Halloween, but it's kind of slasherish too. In that everybody, it wipes out people left and right.
Yeah, it's sort of like the better version of Norman J. Warren's Terror.
Yeah.
Which came out right around the same time, if I'm not mistaken. It was also a 1978 film.
But Warren was kind of like, I saw Suspiria, and I'm going to make Suspiria. and I like him, but he's no Argento. This one's just kind of like, hey, let's just make a horror movie with lots of kids getting killed.
It's got a little bit of a Legend of Hell House going for it too.
It does, yeah. I have a weakness for this is genre haunted house movies where people die really messily and violent. Like Superstition's another one.
Oh yeah.
Super
I don't know. Like Superstition is kind of like Poltergeist, except where everybody dies.
Yeah. Like Superstition hates everybody in its cast. Like it is out to kill everybody and everything.
Gene and Raj would have said it hates its audience too.
It might, but I like it. I'm sure they hated the evil too.
It was probably a dog of the week.
Yeah. This is a
It
fun
wasn't
movie,
even
though.
a movie that they gave credence to like feature it on the show and offer any kind of real criticism other than like a dog of the week for 5 seconds.
This feels like the kind of movie too that this would be a fun movie to watch. Jen said she saw it at the New Beverly. This feels like it would be a fun movie to watch with a packed theater of people that are
Yeah.
really into it, because it has some real crowd pleasing moments of craziness. Yeah.
Oh, Krenna, all hail. I may have said this before, but I honestly believe that just a little bit of Krenna is enough to change you forever.
This is before anybody was like, oh, he's great. Like post Rambo, Krenna has a totally different career, I think.
It is interesting to see him in a movie like this, though.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I kind of pictured him as more of a respectable actor.
He's also in Death Ship, too, though, which is almost the same movie. It's a very similar idea.
But it came later,
Yeah.
and it was these two movies represent his like slide into horror films for a couple of years.
And then he's like...
And then Rambo.
Yeah, who knew that a Vietnam exploitation movie would be his career renaissance?
At least he didn't have to keep making movies like Death Ship and The Evil.
I like Death Ship, though.
I love Death Ship, and I love The Evil.
Yeah, but I also don't have a career where I'm paying for things. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of like when I say that, you know, it's not that I'm acting like a snob about these movies. Other people, like there were people at the time, like Gene and Roger.
And I agree with what Chris just said in the chat. I think Gus Trakonis he's a great drive-in director or exploitation director because he kind of knows how to entertain the audience and not bore them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I think that's the important thing. And
this movie communicates very well with the viewer, I think, because a lot of it is just crazy stuff happening, but it all sort of holds together, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's what I'm kind of looking for on this.
That's what I'm living for, too. You, me, and now the evil.
The evil. Eradicator. Evil.
What am I supposed to be doing here? I think I'm supposed to be looking for ad artwork.
Let's do ad art. Let's talk about the ads. I'm excited to see the ads for this because I kind of want to see how it was sold to folks.
Oh, well, don't get too excited because there was really only one ad design.
I was hoping there was more than one.
Here's a sneak preview ad.
Oh.
Now can we talk about a sneak preview for a minute? Like, because there's certain movies like The Omen and Carrie, which were both marketed right around the same time, actually.
Yeah.
And you will see them playing, like, since I collect all these ads, I see this pattern all the time. First, it's sold as a sneak preview, even though everybody got it at right around the same time. And then a week later, the movie actually comes out. So how can you call that a sneak preview? That's just the first weekend of your opening, right?
We're trying to get you into the theater. So
obviously, yeah. I mean,
it's not just a sneak preview, Bill. It was a major sneak preview.
Major. Right. Yeah, that's the other thing is there were also a lot of movies that they tried to sell as serious films. And
I think it's
The
also
Exorcist.
everybody wants to feel special. So you could tell your friends the next day, like I think that's the idea. You're like, oh, we went to this sneak preview. Oh, what movie it was for? Because you're more apt to discuss the movie if you felt like you were ahead of everybody. So that's like,
Oh, that's something I never considered.
yeah. So then otherwise you wouldn't say, oh, we saw the evil, it was fine. Like, oh, we got the sneak preview, it was fine. But then you definitely talked about
Well, it was their version of, today we would come home and we would look it up online and we'd go write a review of it, or like on
it.
Letterboxd or
Yeah,
something. So this was their version of Letterboxd back in
it
the
was
day. I
pre-social
think that's
media.
wonderful,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
I like the idea of the sneak preview now.
yeah.
There are some though that where they really obviously tried to make it look like it was an event that you had
Oh yeah,
sneak preview tickets.
you were cordially invited. You still have to pay.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny the kind of movies that they did that with. But this one was actually, again, like, do you think it was kind of sold as a high class film? Did you think of this on the same terms as The Omen, let's say?
No, I didn't. But the typeface for the is really pushing it. Like it really feels like kind of classy.
You think so?
I mean, yeah, but I know it's not because I've seen it.
Well, since we've been staring at this for too long now, here, I'll
No, but
change
just
it
in
there.
general, like this ad doesn't look as classy as the black and white.
Yeah, this one, you know what kind of movie it is.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm gonna make a guess here that you like the devil in this movie.
Oh, how did you know that?
Yeah, I wonder.
Could it be because it's Victor Buono?
Yes. He's like, I once taught a girl and her sister how to play piano, and things got weird and
So
sing.
this is from Pittsburgh. You can see some of
Oh.
the theaters that
I
it
I
showed. They
like
played
now
the.
this more open version of it. The way this one looks, this feels a little classier.
Mm-hmm. It kind of looks like a tombstone to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I would put this. Mike said he puts this on the same uh, level as Burnt Offerings or the Hearse. Burnt Offering feels a little classier, maybe because Betty Davis is in it, but definitely like it's the same level as the Hearse. That's a good
I think
comparison.
so too.
Yeah.
And here's some drive-in ads. I had to
Oh,
show you what it was paired with at the drive-in. Everywhere.
yeah.
Shriek of the Mutilated.
Oh, I'm trying to zoom in with my bad old person eyes here.
Oh, sorry. The Kane Road Drive-In. It was showing there.
So
Also, the Colonial.
I've been to the ABC in Butler, or no, that was in on Route 60. Never mind, that's the one in Baden. The Fury,
Uh-huh.
is that the Fury? And what's the
Yeah.
second movie?
Oh, it's the Fury and Damnation Alley.
It looks like there's something in between it though, like another PG at the ABC one.
Oh, Suspiria.
Wow, what? I can't even read that font. Wow. You know what? Can you imagine? You see the Fury, you're like, yeah, pretty good. You see Suspiria, you're like, holy shit, that might have been the best movie I've ever seen. And then
Suspiria
Damnation,
rated PG.
and then Damnation Alley rolls out.
They have it rated PG.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's you said it was a PG movie. It's Suspiria.
oh my god. Oh
Spelled
god.
wrong
Oh
too.
god, and Saint Ives playing together. You know that I would probably go to that one.
Well, Moonchild was the second feature that was often shown with Shriek of the Mutilated
Oh
when
wow.
that was a brand new movie. And it's the third feature at a couple of these screenings with The Evil.
Could could you imagine seeing High Anxiety and Damnation Alley together? Like I can't think of a weirder uh double feature.
Here's some more. This is the bottom view of the drive-in panel because it was everywhere at the drive-in. Miracle Mile,
Wow.
Mount
I like this
Lebanon.
with Shriek of the Mutilated. That's a good double feature.
Yeah, I think so too.
I like the Gauntlet and
But
the Enforcer together. That's a double Eastwood.
what is that? The nothing. Oh, nothing could stop the escape. They showed a tagline. What was the Penn Lincoln?
I
Route
don't.
22, 30 West, and Imperial exit.
That's I think that's up in past Greensburg.
Oh, and it was at the Sunset View in Natrona Heights.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
that's where my zombie flyer is from.
Yes.
The Sunset View.
Wow. This both makes me happy and sad. You know, to see all the
Why?
places.
Because you can't see stuff like this all the time anymore?
Yeah, exactly. That you couldn't just go to the theater and see these.
I know.
Yeah.
There aren't movies like this anymore. Like you know, nobody makes movies for the drive-in experience anymore. It's all we're still getting low budget movies, but they're all for streaming.
Yeah, and they're not as good. But there's
It'll
some good
take as
ones.
long to make.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Yeah, any movie can be good, but you know, when you're cranking out movies really quickly, it's hard to make a good movie. Like I don't know, because a lot of the movies that we love were only made in a couple of days, and yet we find good stuff in those.
Yeah.
So somebody somewhere thinks that
I
the
can't.
cheap
20 years from now, people are like, "Man, those Tubi originals were really good quality."
you
Me, yeah. There are a couple okay ones. I will say. There's also a lot of really bad ones. You know, you got to go through
what's
hell.
a bad one? Like what does that mean? Describe a bad Tubi original movie that you saw.
It's a movie that barely looks finished. It's like digital video. You could tell that nobody did any color balancing. The lighting's bad. The the story is nonsensical at best. Like doesn't make any sense. There's a couple good ones too. Like the best Tubi originals are at the level of like a Lifetime movie or a direct to video movie from the 90s. Like their Terror Train's not too bad. Not great, but it's not horrible. Like it is very comparable to like the direct to video stuff that came out in the 90s and 2000s. But in the same way, like every once in a while you'll get one, you're like, oh wow, that was really a really good movie. You know? It's hard because
Some of the ones you've described have seemed really good. So
yeah, there's been a couple really good I have a weakness for like the stepmother movie that's on there. There's 3 of them now. They get even more ridiculous with each one. What's another? There's one. I'll have to look through my list. There's been a couple good ones this year that are they kind of fit into the slasher world is kind of cool. Like they're good at like those kind of movies. That and Lifetime ones are good. Some of the comedies aren't as good, but you know, it more depends on what you like. Cool.
what I'd like is another cocktail.
Yes, let's do it.
So let's have Robot Sam do the drink
I
segment.
am here.
For the Civil War, I present to you Captain Sam Panico. Did he fight for the North or the South? We'll never know.
I fought for the North. I think we all know I fought for the North. That's we don't need to get canceled.
You're definitely a Northerner.
Definitely Yankee. Anywho, this is a Dr. Arnold name for the doctor in this movie. The irony that this movie is about a drug treatment clinic built in the Civil War mansion being used to make a mixed drink is not lost on me, but whatever. Anyway, to make the Dr. Arnold, it's super simple. We're going to go with Absolute Citron, triple sec, that's 1.5 ounces. That's 1/4 ounce. 4 ounces of lemonade.
Lemonade.
A cool, refreshing drink that is homemade lemonade. It's just lemon juice, squeezed a lemon, water, and simple syrup. And this is 4C brand mixed iced tea. You can make whatever kind of iced tea you want. If you want to be fancy and brew it, that's cool. If you want to go to the store and get a pre-made one, I wouldn't go with any flavored iced teas other than just sweet or
Basic.
lemon flavored. Yeah, stay basic. Unless you got some different tastes, and that's totally cool too. Anyway, we're pouring our alcohols first. Again, 1.5 ounces. of Absolute Citron, 1/4 ounce triple sec. That's going to give it a little bit of citrus
kick.
Yeah, and then we're going to do 4 ounces of lemonade, 4 ounces of iced tea.
Will this all fit in a cup? Yes. Oh.
Technically, now you say, Sam, did you call this a Dr. Arnold because they're Arnold Palmer? Maybe, but technically you would call this drink a John Daly, named for the golfer that likes to drink a lot. Unlike Arnold Palmer, who just likes to drink these. Arnold Palmer, a local
Celebrity.
local to Pittsburgh, yeah.
He is the airport.
Yeah. And there you go. This is a nice little drink to take out on the deck and maybe get in the pool with, or get killed by Civil War ghosts. You make the call. As always, Pazuzu to y'all, and
That looks like some Applebee's restaurant
it really does.
quality.
Yeah, when you're here, your family. Is that Olive Garden?
Both.
Hoo-wee. That's pretty nice. I like that a lot. Pazuzu, I'll see you guys in a couple seconds when the other version of me talks about the movie.
And here is the said other version and me. So Pazuzu. Hi, Becca. You were like the thing with 2 heads there for a minute. Becca and Sam. I don't know what to call you now.
Yeah. Sam Becca, that's what Noah calls us.
Sam Becca.
Sam
One
Becca.
word.
One word. You know what? A warning for those, trigger warning for this movie. You ready, Bill? Quicksand.
What's that?
Quicksand trigger warning
Oh yeah.
in this. Cubby knows. We haven't shown a quicksand movie yet. So there's
It
that.
happens.
It
And
happens.
people do sink in quicksand, no matter what those memes on the internet say.
There's a movie coming to Shudder next week called Quicksand about it looks horrible. A couple trapped in quicksand. So that's
It can happen. I'm just saying.
it will. It has, as it is, as it shall be. Now you've inspired me to look up my Tubi list, Bill. Tell you the
Yes.
Tubi movies that I do like. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's see. I didn't give that one a good one. I'm gonna go anything above 2 stars. Let's see. Well,
The suspense is killing
there's
me.
one called Romeo and Juliet Killers. It's pretty good. It's kind of like a Natural Born Killers, but on a very, very, very cheap budget. But it's actually got some funny stuff in it, and it's halfway decent. Titanic 666. I did not review well, but it's about a ship haunted by the Titanic. They make a new Titanic, and it's haunted by the ghost of the original one. Very timely. Made before the sub incident that everybody's been talking about, but pretty good. Obsessed to Death is pretty good. It's kind of very giallo-esque, an urban giallo, if you will. Dead Zone is pretty good. Shark Side of the Moon was hilarious. It's about shark people that are hiding on the moon, and humans go to try to make peace with them. Doesn't work.
Could happen.
It works out about as well as you would expect it to happen. There's Battle of the Beast, Bigfoot versus Yeti, which is a documentary where they bring in different experts to say who would win in a battle between Bigfoot and the Yeti. So there's that.
Something we've all been wanting to know since the schoolyard.
Oh yeah, it is very schoolyardy. Let's see. Good Wife's Guide to Murder was actually pretty fun. It's about a woman who has a podcast about how to get away with killing her husband, and then when her husband is killed, she is obviously the number 1 suspect. Castaways is pretty good. It's kind of like a Blue Lagoon gender swap because there's no guys, but it's not exploitative. It's pretty good. This movie Marry Fuck Kill is pretty good. It's about a house where occult rituals happen, and people have always been fated to come to this house. It's kind of saddled with a horrible title, but it's way, way better than its title would lead you to believe.
The title was the reason I wanted to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Twisted Date was okay. Mercy Falls is pretty good. That's like a supernatural kind of you can't go back home kind of movie. Post Apocalypse is a cartoon about gluten, which ends up destroying most of the world and turning people into zombies. That was actually pretty fun. Murder at the Murder Mystery Party, which is another title. Like what? But it's about a Hollywood secret society, and they play a murder mystery party and share. Everybody gets stuck with these secrets where they kill one person a year. That's actually pretty rad. Um, the Amityville Curse, sadly, not good. I was really hoping the combination of Amityville and Tubi together would be something, but it's not. And She Came from the Woods is really, really good. I really liked it a lot. And Godless, The Eastfield Exorcism, those are two other recent ones that went up, and those are both pretty solid. Shark Side of the Moon is money. Thank you. I get it.
Hey, you know what we have to do? We have to give away a copy of Jen's book, Japanese Cult Cinema.
We do. Maybe I should get my wheel ready, huh?
You should get your wheel ready, and if you're in the chat and you want to win a copy of Japanese Cult Cinema by J.M. Upton, that would be Jennifer Upton, who was on the first segment of this program. Let us know, and we'll put your name in the drawing.
Yeah, the wheel.
Should we make them wait till the third segment to see if they won, or should we just do it in the second one?
Yeah, let's do the third segment. Then maybe
really?
we'll bring folks back.
All right.
Well,
we're
let's see.
playing hard.
Well, we got some people in here now, so let's see. Dan, Frederick.
Yeah.
Who else, Bill?
Dan. Oh, you said Dan.
Dan, Frederick. Who else?
Paul Dolliner.
Okay.
Vince Cornelius. Mike Justice. Frank Polvino. Jim Drummond. Hi, Jim Drummond.
He's in?
Yeah, he's in.
Awesome.
Daryl's in. Daryl Rabijo. I hope I pronounced that right, Daryl. Dustin Fallon.
He's in. Okay.
Steve Wilson.
Wow, Wanda.
I'm glad to see so much interest in this. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not quite sure how we're going to get this to you. I don't expect Jen to send one from the UK. So
she may
I'm sure
just give you a code for Amazon or something.
Okay. So let's see. I think Steve was. Oh, Jeff Drake would like in.
Okay.
Dennis already ordered one. Thanks, Dennis.
You want to be entered still?
Oh, he said he already ordered it.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Oh, Chip Lammy's in.
Tim
Dorch. Oh, I pronounced Daryl's name right. I'm so proud of myself.
You want me to give it a shot?
I already said it.
Abergeron.
Rene Auberjonois.
Yeah. Who, by the way, I learned this week played Spider-Man on a rock and roll Spider-Man album that came out in 1968.
Far out.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Fasonic wants in on the drawing.
Yep, got him.
Tim, we got you already, I think.
Yeah,
Tim
I got
Dorsch?
Tim.
Okay.
Tim Dorsch, yes.
All right.
Man, this is going to be one of the hardest ones to win ever.
I know there's so many competitors.
14 competitors right now.
It's a Drive-In Asylum double feature high point. So what else can we BS about while we're giving people a chance to chime in on the drawing?
We could.
What about your CBS late movie series on BNS About Movies?
How about it? I'm super excited. All July, it's all going to be based on every movie as many movies as I can get to that aired on the CBS late night movie. And I have a letterbox list that I just finished of almost 1,200 movies that were up there. So that took a long time and was like one of those ridiculous things. Like, why did I decide to do this? But it's done. And the first week is almost all written. So I'm super excited, and come. There'll be 3 or 4 of them a day. Plus, I am doing the BIFAN festival in Korea this week, and I'm excited to report that Anthropophagus 2 is one of the movies. A movie I've been waiting to see. Some would say dying to see. It's going to be super cool. So there's a lot of really good stuff that's playing that show. Valerie and her Week of Wonders is playing that show, Bill, which makes me super happy. You know how
Wow, that's
one of
right
my,
up your alley.
yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. Their translation of Valerie was great because it was a Valery. So the website is obviously translated not from our language, but that's cool. But the hard part of doing the CBS late night movie list was a lot of movies that are listed on the episode guide site were listed as movies, but they were really either episodes of shows that only lasted for one season. And then in the late 80s, early 90s, they aired a lot of Australian shows like Adderley as episodes of those shows, but they were listed as movies, not episodes of a show. So I couldn't find them on IMDb. So it took a lot of goofy, research to do it. So I'm excited about it.
All right. So I think we got everybody in
Yeah.
the drawing that wants to be in the drawing. Why don't we do the drawing? Or are you going to wait till third segment? You said
Now let's do it now.
You want to do it now? Okay.
Yeah. Can you see
Are
it?
you sure? We can
Yeah.
torture them.
Can you see the wheel?
Yeah, it's coming up. There we go.
Awesome. I don't have anything to give us a drum roll, but
we can imagine it in our minds. What is suggested is better than what is actually shown.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Daryl, you're the
Daryl.
Right on the edge.
Almost sharked by Dustin Fallon.
Yeah.
All right. There was even a round of applause. That's amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations, Daryl.
All right.
A winner is you.
So
awesome.
I think I have Daryl's address. And
awesome.
I think you bought some drive-in asylum issues. So if not, why don't you just inbox me your address, Daryl? I'll make sure you get hooked up with a copy of Jen Upton's book, Japanese Cult Cinema. And if you didn't win it, go buy it because it's actually pretty cheap. It's not an expensive book, and it's a nice read.
Apologies, Chris is right. Adderley was a Canadian show. The other thing I learned, Bill, is that there was a Top of the Pops that aired on the CBS late movie in the mid '80s as well. It was on Friday nights. I did not know this.
Oh, Top of the Pops?
Yeah, an American version of it.
Wow.
And there was also Hollywood Screen, which was like their Entertainment Tonight. They experimented with a lot of shows, and then they even did right before in like 2015. They even did a new version of it that played episodes of CSI between Letterman and the later show to see how it would work. So I would love if they have the CBS Decades channel, as you know, that runs on stream over the air. I really wish they would just take a lot of the movies that were on there, the TV movies and stuff, and just do the same thing.
Look at our faces. We could do that thing like where half of the screen.
Yeah.
Ew. Oh, I'm doing it. I'm messing it up. Okay, now there's half of me.
That'll end up being our YouTube picture for this episode.
It should be.
It should be the.
If it's not, I'm going to force it.
Yeah.
I posted the link to our second movie tonight, which is The Evil, and it's playing on YouTube. There's a nice uncut print on YouTube. It's AKA House of Evil. Again, I've never found an ad for it playing under that name. So that was probably just like a TV title or maybe a video title.
It's also on Tubi, if you like the Tubi.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, wherever you get the least commercials.
It could be. It could be. I've had really good luck with Tubi. I say that, and now I won't. It's going to be 9-10 commercials in a row on on topic.
Oh, I'm stingy because I pay for YouTube, so I don't watch any commercials. So that's why I always want to post the link on YouTube, so I don't have to sit and watch commercials on Tubi.
I see.
But so.
As for teasing next week, Bill and I have to confirm with Bill, unless you know what the next weeks are of the ones we talked about. So we talked about them earlier today, and I don't know if you picked them or not. If you'd like to tease them.
Oh yeah, it was the two that you mentioned. You knew I was gonna jump all over that.
Yeah.
So that was like parading Aldo Ray out in front of me in a towel, fresh out of the sauna.
Yeah. Now I know. All right. Well, I'm excited, and then we have some new guests coming up over the next couple weeks too. So.
Oh yeah.
The guys
we can talk about that now, or we can announce it on the 3rd.
Yeah, the guys from NPR Armageddon are going to be on. Not next week, the week after, which is a really fun podcast that is kind of like a radio show from the heart of a dying city in the middle of Armageddon. It's really fun. Harlan Ellison was on an episode. He's an actual voice on one of the episodes, and they said he corrected the script the entire time they were he was reading the dialogue, which has to be intimidating. And Diane from Jawa of the Month is going to be on it. The last episode of July, she's going to be doing an episode too, which is exciting. So.
And also, who did we mention as a guest already? We mentioned the NPR Armageddon guys.
Yeah, Diane from Jawa of the Month.
Diane.
Yeah.
Oh, and Austin.
Yeah, and
Austin's coming back too.
August Austin will be coming on in August and doing some. Yeah. And we did not mention next week's movies again. Those are saved for 3rd segment. We'll reveal those. We're just teasing them.
Yeah. It's a tease. Lee knows we never announce them until the 3rd. She's just trying to get a jump on us.
Oh, Bill, the other movie, I'll tell you this before we go into the 3rd segment. The other movie I saw this week that I would 100% recommend to our audience to watch is The Divine Enforcer, a movie that I've never seen before that has a cast of complete batshittery. Eric Estrada's in it, Jan Michael Vincent, Robert Zadar. It's about a priest that comes to a new parish who is psychic and has Jesus-themed weapons, like a gun with a cross and throwing star shaped like the crucifix. And Don Stroud is a serial killer who is the Los Angeles vampire who likes to kidnap women, take their blood and inject it into his own blood. When he's not cutting their heads off and making cereal bowls out of their skulls, he eats cornflakes out of a woman's head in this movie. I don't know how this movie got made. It's barely coherent. All of the scenes with Eric Estrada and Jan Michael Vincent are them sitting at the same table and eating breakfast. And what's her name from Judy Landers, who was in the one movie that we watched? Judy Landers.
Hellhole.
Yeah.
And Twins. What was the twin movie?
I can't remember what the name of the twin one is.
Deadly Twins?
Deadly Twins. Judy Landers plays their maid, and she just cooks for them the whole movie. And no one ever comments on that Judy Landers is supposed to be like a nun of some sort. Man, this whole movie is... Don Stroud was like, I've only been in roller game themed movies about post-apocalyptic roller derby movies for the last 3 movies I've been in. I can act in this movie, and he goes, he's still eating scenery. He still has scenery between his teeth from this movie, so I completely recommend it. It's
Mike Justice. They are not Caged Fury and The Man Who Fell to Earth next week.
That is a great double feature, though.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
it could be.
Yeah, I think
let's erase our choices next week and make them Caged Fury and The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah, I will tell you on the site this week, though, Bill. The Green Slime's coming up.
Ooh.
Who Slew Auntie Roo?
Ooh.
Kingdom of the Spiders.
Oh, I'm fainting in 3, 2, 1.
Cry of the Banshee. The Swimmer. Wild in the Streets. The Seven Faces of Dr. Lau. The Fiend That Walked the West. Again, all CBS late night movies. And this is my big goal for July. Every episode of Kolchak will be part of this month. So I'm going to be watching a lot.
Every episode of Kolchak.
Plus, I'm finishing out Night Gallery season 3. And like we said, Back to the Evil, Joanna Pettit is in 4 episodes of Night Gallery. The really good one she's in is where she's a model that's a vampire and her image destroys men's lives. That's probably my favorite episode she's in on Night Gallery. Dustin,
Do you want me to order like Jane Plum on the Night Gala or the Night
yeah,
Stalker? It's in the first episode where he meets Jane Plum, and it's Etta from Wonder Woman.
yeah.
and they're in the restaurant. She's like, I'll have a tongue sandwich, side of fries, macaroni salad, and a root beer float, 2 scoops, and a piece of pecan pie. And he goes, chili. Like he's embarrassed to be sitting there.
It's so great.
She
I
ordered
was
all that
looking
food.
through the dates that Kolchak ran, and I literally knew the exact date. I remember the whole it's summer of '78. Like every episode of the CBS Late movie, I definitely watched every episode that summer. It was great. Dustin, predict 2 movies. We should do this, Bill. Where this is my next gimmick to get people to pick movies for us. 3rd segment idea. Predict 2 movies for a future show. Maybe we'll take your ideas. That'll make it easier on us.
Yeah, Dustin, I can confirm that there's only one movie next week that might be considered a movie where nothing really happens, but actually not. I think there actually is enough action in each movie that neither one would qualify as a movie where nothing happens. That's all I'll say.
These are good teases. Also, we have another. Bill and I will tease something else in the 3rd segment too, but we can't talk about it. We'll tease.
Tease. That's all we do here.
This is the 3rd segment, the infamous tease.
One of the movies that we're doing next weekend is from 1979. Stunning year for horror films.
Yeah.
And this movie was a stellar example of a 1979 classic.
It's not Meteor.
No, it's not Meteor.
How awesome was the Meteor pinball machine at the Riverside?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's so much better than the movie. I wish the movie was just 2 hours of them filming the pinball machine. It would be so much better.
Steve Olsen, it's not Alien. I love Alien. Alien's one of my favorite movies, but I mean, hasn't everybody seen it? I don't know. I wouldn't want to do that on the show, would you?
It's not Phase 4, but I would like to show Phase 4.
Sorry, I coughed in everybody's ear.
The only bug movie that I know designed by the guy that came up with the AT&T logo or the Ma Bell logo at Phase 4.
Well, okay. Dustin said he would watch Alien. I just don't know who would actually watch it because everybody's seen that so many times, or at least most people probably have.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of them is a 79 movie, and the second one is from 1980. And again, another stellar year for horror films. You know, we haven't done a DIA 1980 yearbook. That's probably going to be our next yearbook special.
That would be a great idea. I think what I would like in that, Bill, is a spread of movies that have 80 in the title, like Frankenstein.
Oh,
80.
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Any excuse to put
I have a
that in
weakness
there.
for movies that have a year after that, like Dracula 80 72. A movie you've never been more excited than when that trailer played the one time at the drive-in where you're like, he is not just a vampire anymore. He has a whole network of people. He's a Bond supervillain now. He can invent super bugs that destroy the world.
Bubonic plague. Yeah, Dracula.
Yeah.
Now he's the devil too. Because you know,
Yeah.
Hammer Films was like eventually like Dracula equals the devil.
Yeah. And they're like, you know, Bond movies are big, so maybe we put like a secret agent kind of plot in this a little bit. It's got a lot going on. That'll also be showing up probably in the CBS Late movie deep dive that I'm doing.
Mike Justice, they're just worried that they'll get it confused with Alien 2. Solitaire, Alien 2.
My other thing is when people use the name of somebody's movie, but it's a Hollywood person talking about it and they use a nickname for them, like, Steve King's a pretty good writer, and I'm like, nobody could just call him
Steve King.
I just watched King on film, or King on Screen, this documentary where they gathered all the people that have directed a Stephen King movie together, and a couple people call him Steve King, and it makes me laugh every single time. Man, Chris brings Alien on Earth would be a Sam pick. I tried the movie that I was. This is the double feature that you're not going to be assaulted with. All right, extraterrestrial encounters, the one Pierre Simone movie, and the Mummy theme park. That was my pick. Bill's like, nobody's going to want to watch these. Those two together is like.
I said we could do them, but not together. I mean, that's like.
Yeah, I know. Like, both in a row would be like, we're just, you hate this audience, don't you? I don't. I love you all. So, but those will probably be coming too. They're on Tubi. As soon as I see something on Tubi, I get excited about it. I'm like, wow, it is on Tubi.
You were like Joan when they opened the door when she won the Oscar, and she was like, "I love all of you."
I just did it for my house, and I called the media over and I told them,
I love all of you except you, and you, and you, and you. Oh,
what movie did we watch that had the lady from Good Housekeeping in it? Okay. Yeah, we watched Dark Knight of the Scarecrow last night, and the lady from Red Book is in it. She's like one of the farmers in it.
Barbara Bennett.
And
that's Jocelyn Brando.
Yeah.
Marlon's
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah. Yes, and she's in it, and I love that scene so much because she's there to do an interview, and they still can't settle down just for the half an hour that she's there.
See, Lee asked what was the show we did last year at this time. I guess like almost on this same day, and I couldn't remember that. I also totally forgot that we did Manus and Lace and Behind Locked Doors 2 weeks ago. Because I'm immersed in all of these, all of these weeks. There's like the week that we're currently doing. I'm like creating stuff for that. Then I'm creating the stuff that we're gonna do next week, and it starts to get all jumbled up and confused. Like stuff gets pushed out so easily.
Well, it's funny. Like that's why I'm glad that I built the letterbox list of what we've shown, because I look back. This is what, episode 144, I think.
I think it's 141.
141. And like, so I'm like, we've shown like at least 300 movies, right? And I'm like, oh man, we showed that. That's crazy. And
I get overwhelmed too when I look at it. I'm like, oh my god, I can't remember you doing this show, but we did.
Well, that's what's nice to have those, because then I always type it into that list to see like, did we show this already? Okay, cool, we didn't. Because this has happened to me a couple of times this week where I've reviewed a few movies and I'm like, I already watched that movie. Like, how do I not remember watching this movie? What can you do?
All right, so I listed.
Let's do the evil though. Let's remember to watch the evil.
Don't forget the evil. It will haunt you. Make sure you go click on the link. Well, this one you don't have to. It is on Tubi, so it's easy to find. The Evil from 1978, starring Richard Crenna, Joanna Pettit, and Victor Bono. Come back afterwards, and we'll have plenty more to talk about. It'll be the third segment. We can celebrate Daryl Rabideau's victory in the book drawing and all sorts of fun. So we'll see you then.